Okay, good evening and welcome everyone. Today's date is the 2nd of November 2024 and it is precisely 7:38 here PM in Ireland. And we have this evening we have Brian Seng, the Solar Bee, Michael Lewis, Joshua Shapiro, Sheila Septon, Julia Ankerhaven, and Dennis Mulcahy, and myself, SomaARah, or Carol Noonan, which is my birth name. But I do prefer SomaARah. So this year has gone so quickly. It's almost Christmas, and it's very intense times we're in and energy. And there's been a lot of recent flooding and events in different parts of the world, America and Spain, Nepal, Australia, France. I'm sure I'm missing several places there. And I do share a lot of them on my Facebook page, because I think that the news doesn't share a lot of stuff. So I do try and do my best to let people know and make people aware of the occurrences around the world to do with weather. And there is bad weather moving into Ireland and the UK and then going into Europe, even though Spain has already been hit. So yeah, some of the messages recently that the emergency broadcasts I've done are very much to do with the weather and preparing food and water and supplies, and also a go bag, a bag that you can just pick up and go should you need to. And that's never to put fear into people ever. It's only ever to try and help people to prepare should they ever need to. And we always think that, oh, it's never going to happen to us, like that's somewhere else over there, whatever it is, so but it's always good to prepare just in case, because then you're ready within a moment's notice and you don't need to panic, or that there would be a stillness there, knowing that you'd be prepared should anything ever happen. And if it doesn't, then fine, but you would have done the preparation. So okay, so is there anything that so Joshua has a very big part in my life, and very much so, and he doesn't even realize the half of it, to be honest, because I think he's probably forgotten, but he sent me an email years ago, and tomorrow we're doing a roundtable, so I'll probably get into that more tomorrow. But he sent me an email years ago, and I didn't know who he was, and this was before I was doing any interviews or any online stuff really, and I had already started to write my book, which was only ever meant to be about my childhood and some of the negative experiences I had, and then it became something more than that, because at the time I was writing it, I was living in a beautiful area in Lewisburg, in very rural Ireland, and I had just left my husband, and I just needed space and peace and tranquility and nature, and I wanted a house on the beach. So I managed to manifest that in a beautiful part of Ireland. And then I was sent an email by a guy called Joshua Shapiro, who's here with us this evening, who I just hold in such high high esteem because my life has gone in a certain direction because of this email that I received from, at the time, I just thought it was a random guy. And I'm sure I thought he was a bit of a weirdo at the time, because I didn't know him. But he said we should work together and that he'd been contacted by the Pleiadians, and that we should work together and that my name had been given to him, which I just find fascinating. And that really opened that it initiated the Pleiadians turning up. I think it was a couple of days later, and they turned up behind me and to my left. And the main person at the front was Ashtar. And that's an experience that I'll never forget. Every time I think of it, I see them very clearly in my mind's eye. So yeah, that's how that's part of my story of connecting to the Pleiadians. Although it's also important to add that I left Lewisburg where I was living, and I moved into Galway, which was the nearest city, and to do shamanic courses in Ireland with one of the best shaman in Ireland, Paul O'Halloran, and I began doing those. And then I began to have memories of during the shamanic journeys and the ayahuasca. I began to have memories of having connected to them as a child, memories that I'd lost and forgotten due to trauma, because my mind wasn't ready to remember some of the more traumatic experiences that I'd had from a very young age. And while I was doing these shamanic trainings, my mind was ready to accept and remember things that I had long forgotten. So I kind of have a back to front story, because I wasn't, when I began channeling, when I was sent the email by Joshua and then I began channeling, I wasn't aware of that I had connected to them as a child. I'd forgotten a lot of that. And the stuff that I did remember, I hadn't realized it was the Pleiadians. I remember once they showed me, my mum was watching the telly and the news was on, and it was an image of the Sphinx. And this is a memory I'll never forget either, or an experience I'll never forget. The news was on and the Sphinx was on, and that instantly ignited or brought them into my space. And I got a download of information. I think I was 12 at the time. So that is a memory I'll never forget. But I didn't realize it was the Pleiadians at the time. And they gave me a download of information. So when I was watching the news, the TV screen, I was looking at the Sphinx, but I had probably Ashtar on my right, who was giving me downloads of information. And he was showing me the Sphinx, and he was showing me that it had a lion's head, and then I could see steps going down. I think it's the right paw as you look head on, or maybe it's the left paw, but it's one of the paws. And I think maybe it's even in the middle. But as you go down, there's steps going down, and there was when he was relaying this information, he was saying that there's like a secret area or space or room or cavity or space underneath the Sphinx on one side of the paws, on one of the paws. So, and that was the Pleiadians. So I never realized who they were. I just thought of them as my guides, and there was a lot of safety in that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna shut up and connect in with them. I feel like the energies are really high this evening, and I feel that part of it is because Joshua is here with us, who obviously has a very strong okay, hold on. Who, thanks. Who obviously has a very strong connection to, oh, um, the Pleiadians. Um, and I can actually feel Katrina here with us, here with me, with us. Um, so, um, because I do the mediumship as well. And I won't um, go into that because that's not appropriate um, to do now. So, does anyone have any questions before I?
Joshua mentioned that he recently detected or was told about a positive timeline shift, and now it seems these benevolent forces of light are more able to take action. And so, if our Palladian friends could give us any more detail and information on that, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, okay,
Good question, Brian.
yeah, okay. May because they've told me about that before. But maybe if you want to, so I could answer that now, but maybe if you want to answer when they ask if there's any questions, if you want to ask that, then they might come in with um some new information or
Yeah,
um
and I could ask other stuff. We'll go off the channeling is fine because the
okay,
energy's high. Let's see what they have to say.
yeah, yeah. Dennis, thanks, Brian, and Joshua. I'm delighted you're here. Um, I'm delighted everyone's here. Um, and most especially Joshua, because he's such a big part of um, the way things have unfolded for me. Um, and he's never realized it. Um,
I know it now.
you know it now. Yep. We did an interview, I think it was about a year ago, maybe, or maybe 2 years ago, and I tried to explain, but I didn't articulate it very well to you. Um, but yeah, you've had a huge hand in the direction my life has gone, and I'm so eternally grateful that you actually sent me that email, that you trusted your own guidance and not even your own guidance, but the um information you were getting.
It's very important, especially in this period of time, that we now go with what we feel inspired to do. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 years ago or if it's the next minute. It's very important that we trust them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I will begin with the Law of One prayer, and that is something that I will say 3 times. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks this is done, it is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks this is done, it is so. And one more time. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed.
Oh.
When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks this is done, it is so. And I will say the prayer or affirmation, which is shared by Blossom Goodchild. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. Thank you.
So let us begin with a very short meditation. Visualize, see, sense, feel, manifest even. Picture Jesus or Yeshua in front of you. Ashtar behind you, and other loving high frequency Pleiadian beings behind him, and actually all around you, circling you with protection, with love, with a high loving frequency vibration, perhaps even a sound or color or symbols, even verging on light language and previous written language, such as hieroglyphics or earlier languages in different countries, sacred people. Visualize your guides, your Native American spirit guides, your loved ones. Jay is here. And visualize angels on your left and your right. Animal spirit guides, wolf, eagle, bear, lion, cobra, perhaps other animals. We are in direct contact with many of you. Could someone please also record this?
You're the
Thanks.
host.
We need permission from the host to record.
Okay. Um,
It is being recorded.
it is,
Oh, yeah.
but I've a feeling that I just had the feeling to ask someone else to record it as well. Let me see.
Here, I'm sending a request. I'm sending a request to record right now. That might help.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Okay, thank you, Brian. Let me just go back into it and we've said before Soma has a resistance to always to sharing this information, but we've said before that we are in direct contact with some very prominent figures. We are showing Soma an image of a previous lifetime of JS. So many of you are really very strongly and deeply connected. So many of you have had previous incarnations with each other and are finding each other and reconnecting with each other. And we are showing Soma an image of JS in a lifetime in Atlantis where things went wrong. And we are also showing her a lifetime of his as well, as part of the Essenes. And he does have a very strong connection to Jesus. In a very real lifetime. And also Egypt. And also Peru. We would like to share that we've shared this before. But perhaps now perhaps now it is a good time to say it again. Around 2020, there was a time in January or February, Soma recalls around January or February in 2020 when the Earth was there was some very intense energy beaming or hitting your planet. And we showed her that these energies would be like a torch beam would become so intense that it would cause the Earth to multiply. And she'd heard this information previous to that time, but she never understood how that was possible. And we showed her how and what was happening. Our explanation to her was that these huge beams of energy were hitting your Earth, and it would become so intense that it would cause the Earth to multiply into two Earths, and one would go into a higher timeline, a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher consciousness, a higher awareness, and the other would stay where it was, or it would drop into an even lower frequency, vibration, energy, consciousness, awareness. And thus we explained how it was possible to create two Earths, two different realities, two different realities. The starseeds, as you go day to day, you are every day, every moment, you are creating a much more positive timeline. You, over the coming weeks, months, days, years, we have more information to share with Soma about some of the more advanced reasons why you were chosen to be here on your planet at this time. We have not yet shared all the information with her, but we have shared enough for now, and regarding this, and a significant amount of information that has been, is, and was important regarding starseeds and why you are here. But there is more to come. There is always a bigger picture. Always a bigger picture. There is always an expansion of knowledge, awareness, intuition, ascension. There is always an expansion in evolution of everything within the universe. It never stops, ever. That would not be a natural law. It is not possible to stagnate, even though on a very physical level, some of you may feel stuck or in stagnation at times in the past. Most of you do not feel stuck at the moment. But as starseeds, you are galactic beings. Your DNA is different. You are here to anchor in the energies of the new earth, a new way of being, a new timeline, a new shift, a new dawn, a new reality, a new beginning. And there are codes in your DNA that are being reactivated, reignited on a daily basis. Much of this will come to light more and more as we continue our journey and upgrades and downloads with Soma and so many others, so many other channelers, starseeds, light workers, indigos, crystals, rainbows, healers, Reiki masters, Reiki practitioners, shamans, shamanic practitioners, whatever label or category you give yourselves, we give you the label and category of starseed. You are not from here. You are galactic beings. You are born to shine. You are born to stand out. You are born to be looked at. You are born to be seen. Soma had an occurrence today where she was seen and she didn't like it. And Dennis would have a different explanation than this, and he is correct, but he would have a certain perspective, a certain view. Many of you stand out, even when you don't want to. There is something that is different within you, within your energy, within your aura, within your being, within your knowledge, within your awareness, within your presence. Thank you. We would like to clarify that there are crystal skulls that are not made on your earth, that were brought to your earth. And these are very powerful objects that contain codes, knowledge, frequency, vibration that have been coded into them, into the core. That are very powerful and also different to normal crystals. This is very related to the 13 that we shared with Soma many years ago. The 13 crystal, which he wrote about. Thank you. The 13 crystal skulls, the 13 tribes, the 13 star signs, the 13 Easter Island statues, the 13, 13, 13, 13. She can't even remember all of the things that we explained with the relevance of the 13 tribes. Now would be a good time for questions.
Uh, Can our friends tell us uh, where is the disclosure movement at this time um, in regards to um, any white hat forces, if any? And because I guess I'm speaking from the civilian side of things, and I'm wondering if there's anything that we humans can do to uh, uh, be beyond this spiritual work and the type of disclosure work we're already doing. I'm pointing to the example of how you put Joshua Shapiro in touch with SomaARah here back in around 2009. That was obviously very helpful.
There are codes in your DNA that we speak of. And as we move forward, as Soma moves forward in the days, weeks, and months, we will most definitely be giving more information all the time regarding starseeds, ascension, and what is happening on your planet. Starseeds do have, we will try and keep the answer as short as we possibly can, but it is, we never give yes or no replies or answers. We like to explain things, both so for Soma and both for others listening, and for you asking the question. There is a bigger, much bigger picture at play here with the question that you are asking as well. And there always is. There is always an expansion, as we were explaining just now. But going back to your question, you are starseeds, and you are coded in your very cells, your very DNA, your DNA is, we've said this many times, your DNA is as unique as your fingerprints. There are not even twins that have the same DNA or the same fingerprints. You are unique as you can get. There are no two that are identical. Even with identical twins, there is uniqueness there. And as starseeds, you are coded with programmed even to pulled. You are, within many of you, there is there is codes where you are, that have been put into your DNA for this time now, that initiate being pulled together, being united, remembering each other, recognizing each other. And some of you are very gifted in being able to see past lives and the past lives where you were connected. Many of you have this ability. And this is a code in your very DNA. There is a lot of information about your DNA that is hidden from you. Your DNA is who you are on a soul level individually. So these codes are very individual as your fingerprints. And you have, and part of your your question is very important and relates to this, because the codes in the DNA connect you to each other. They help you to remember your past lives. They help you to access the Akashic records. They help you to channel. They help you to remember your childhoods. They help you to remember your past lives. They help you to remember your healing. They are doorways. They are gateways to who you really are. On a soul level, you are not from here. You are not from Earth. You are not human. You are hybrids who are exceptional. Soma doesn't like us using the word exceptional, but you have purpose, you have a mission, and this is very much to do with ascension. And so many of you in 2019 and 2020, your DNA woke up and you were ignited to step forward and speak up and pick up those microphones and get on line, as Soma puts it, to connect with each other. This is not just an occurrence. This was coded into your DNA to connect with each other, to create conferences, to create talks, to create gatherings, to create meditations, to create healing, to create unity consciousness that is not from here, that is where your consciousness is at a higher level than the vast majority of humanity who are down here. Or we could say like a radio station operating in a different frequency and not able to understand what the other is saying because they are speaking a different language, a different energy, a different frequency, a different vibration. It is the opposite. It is not understood because they are not able to speak your language or frequency or energy. You are operating over here. And this is where the negative agenda also is at play, because they use divide and conquer as a war tactic for thousands of years to put normal human beings who are not starseeds at war with each other, young and old, black and white, rich and poor, Irish and English. That is a tactic that the negative agenda has been using again and again and again and again and again for thousands of years in different times, and putting different groups of, setting different groups of people up to war against each other, country against country, brother against brother. And part of your codes that are in your DNA is the opposite of this. It is the opposite of the negative agenda. That is partly why you have these codes, which were needed, which were necessary for this time now in your lifetime, which is part of ascension. You needed these codes to activate, to remember who you are, where you're from, why you're here. Albeit that you are looked upon by people that do not understand your frequency, your energy, your language. You are looked upon, Soma would say that, looked upon as if you have two heads, because they do not understand your language. Conferences, unity consciousness is unique to starseeds, is really what we are trying to explain, and part of it. There's a unity consciousness in your starseed's DNA, whether you are aware you are starseeds or not. You are starseeds, healers. All of you that are a little bit odd or thinking outside of the box, whether you realize it or not, you are different. Your DNA is different. Part of these codes are to help you remember, help you to ignite, help you to gather your tribe, to remember Atlantis, to remember Lemuria, to remember so much of who you are, where you're from, and why you are here on your planet. Wake up. Wake up. You could say, we could explain that we coded you with these DNA codes, but we were not the only ones that did this. You have codes of different, thank you, star nations. You have codes from us, you have codes from Sirius, you have codes from Lyra, you have codes from many different places. For this time now, to gather your tribe, you are changing the course of your earth. You are changing the course of the timelines. You are changing the course of your planet and our history. And we say our history because we are from the future, which may be news to some of you. And some of you have heard this before. Some of you have heard us speak this before. Some of you are born into very difficult families, very dysfunctional. And it has been very challenging for you. You are here for such an important shift in humanity. We cannot stress that enough. You are here for such a great shift in humanity, and part of these codes are essential for your mission to accomplish, to unite, to gather, to conference together. Unity consciousness and ascension is part of the same thing. Or rather, unity consciousness, slow down. Or rather, unity consciousness is an aspect of a subcategory of ascension. And there are many aspects to ascension, including a love frequency and love vibration. Love is an energy that can be measured. And if it can be measured, it can be created. We have said this before many times. We never tire of repeating ourselves, much to DM's dismay. But that is less within him now. Step up your work. Don't falter for lack of money or lack of resources. Connect with each other. Unite. Create connections and contacts. It is in your DNA to do this. Reach out to people, get online, expand your contacts, expand your awareness, expand your tribe, expand your group, expand your abundance, expand your everything. Expansion is key. Connections, the money will come. Let it flow in, let it flow out. Create what you want to be, what you wish to see in the world, what you wish to manifest is a new earth. You are changing reality. You are changing the trajectory. You are changing history. You are changing our history, and you are changing your future. Let us say that again. You are changing our history and your future. Don't stop for lack of resources or negative influences coming in from the outside. There are most definitely spiritual people who have been infiltrated. This is how the negative agenda works. We said this the other evening, that the negative agenda points the finger at the opposition, whatever that opposition is, and calls them out for doing something that the negative agenda itself is doing. This is most often seen in politics.
Yes.
So let us pause there. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. We had a short break there, some refreshments. So I'm going to see if I can go back into the. Oh, yeah, I'm going to see if I can go back into the. Okay, hold on. The channeling, and I'm kind of already in it. So, your loved ones are never far from you. Those that are in spirit. So many of you here, including Soma, have lost people that you have loved dearly. We feel your grief. Now would be a good time for some more questions. Oh,
I'm waiting for others to have questions, but if no one has any other questions, I'll ask it. Michael, do you have anything to ask?
Not at the moment.
Okay. There's been a lot of chatter, if you will, um, going around about shutdowns and things like that. And I know that Soma has gotten messages through these emergency warnings in regards to the upcoming U.S. elections. It's very shortly November 4th or whatever, what day. Um, do our friends have any more information on how the energies are looking for this timeline given where we are right now?
We see Soma would slightly disagree with us. We in the term in Soma's understanding of disclosure is that there will never be disclosure from reptilian governments or reptilian elites or reptilian families or reptilian royal families or reptilian anything. It is you who are the disclosure movement. There will be airport closures where airports will be shut down worldwide. Soma had a glimpse of this where she was seeing something on social media of a report of worldwide airports being closed to come, not just in the past, such as with COVID, but also to come. And we would like to clarify that airports will be closed, shut down, limited. This does not necessarily relate to the election in the USA, but rather further ahead than that time. Thank you. This is a battle between light and dark that has been going on for eons. We see that Trump has triumphed in the past, or rather we are showing this one, Soma, an image where he did triumph, and we showed her this before, where he did win the election. And we would like to say that that situation will happen again, whether it is there is no competition in that sphere, in that atmosphere, in that election. There is no competition. Too many of you are awake and aware for it to be any type of competition or election. Trump has already won. However, that may not play out in the awareness or eyesight of the majority. There is nefarious at play. There is, thank you, mischievousness at play. There is corruption at play. There is manipulation at play that involves technology and ballot counting, statistics. But if you look at, as Soma has done, if you look at the views, the people who are engaging and watching and following political people on social media, you will see already the statistics of how things will play out. There is a huge majority in the favor of this being called Trump. Love wins. We've said before, and Soma always gets a feeling that this will shock people. However, we have said before that we will not allow ascension to not occur. One of the main reasons for that not the only reason, but the main reason is that ascension is not limited to your earth. How could it be when everything in the universe affects everything else? Everything is energy. And energy is not stagnant. Energy has fluidity, movement, structure to it, molecules to it. It is designed that way. Nothing is separate. You are not separate from God, source, or I am presence. You are not separate from us. Another way to explain it or to say it would be that everything is working in conjunction with each other. Everything. So we will not allow, and we are not alone in this. We work very closely with Syrians and Lyra, and other star nations that you are not even aware of yet. But we will not allow ascension to not occur. That is not to say that there are not other timelines where there is a different outcome. But the timeline that you, as starseeds, you are here to manifest a new earth. There is a very positive timeline. If your frequency is high enough to be part of that. There are some that are not able to speak this language. There are some that are not able to. When we say language, we could replace that word with frequency, with vibration, language. There are some of you that are not able on your planet to sustain a higher frequency or vibration. There are different timelines. May and June next year in 2025 will be important months. We have said previously to Soma that November will be more important than October, and that is playing out now. You are already seeing that. With some of the negative occurrences, situations, devastations on your planet that are indeed created by the negative agenda. If you look into your history, you will see that we use the phrase, the Great Reset, in a positive way, because that is the origin of the phrase, the Great Reset. However, that has also been infiltrated and misused or used in a negative way by the negative agenda. But you will see similarities. There are similarities with the floods that you are experiencing in many places on your planet now that has occurred before in great resets. Your earth is alive, is a huge ball of consciousness that is alive and breathing and living and aware of itself. How could it not be? The plants, the trees, the butterflies, the animals, the insects, are all very are all able to communicate with your planet in a way that you have lost, or where your DNA was manipulated, taken out, changed, causing you to lose your connection to Mother Earth. This did not occur in the animal realms. They did not need to. When we say they, we are referring to the negative ET agendas. They did not need to change the DNA of the animals. Which is one of the reasons why you, thank you, which is one of the reasons why you will see some of your animals and birds behaving strangely, because they have not lost the innate connection to your planet. So they are very aware of and act strangely before natural disasters or devastations. Wild animals will tend to flee these events. Thank you. February 2025 is also an important shift. We've said before that there are many processes and shifts within this bigger ascension process or occurrence or timeline. There are many different shifts and upgrades, and you cannot suddenly jump from here to here because it would cause the body to frazzle and burn out. So it is a process that is drawn out and staggered, where you are able to be uploaded and downgraded, upgraded and downloaded with information at a more regular intervals, or intervals is a good word, at more regular intervals. If you were to do it all at the same time, it would be too much for your physical vessels to contain the energy that is needed to ascend. So therefore it is drawn out into stages of awakening en masse. And as you become more aware and more aware and more aware as a species, and we are including starseeds in this, you shine your light brighter with a more expansiveness, where you reach more people, you affect more of your environment, you affect your neighbors, you affect your towns, your cities, you affect to the point that you are, thank you, that you are able to change. And this has become very evident recently, where you are able to change weather manipulations occurring in different countries that are thousands of miles. You are becoming aware of, a little bit more aware. Even those of you that are awake, aware, and conscious, you are becoming a little bit more aware of how powerful you really are. Because you are hybrids, you have these codes, abilities, initiations that are not human. Extra abilities, an extra awareness, an extra sense, an extra frequency, an extra sight, an extra ability to hear frequencies and vibrations that the majority of you cannot. So we would like to pause there. We hope that that has answered your question. And even more than that, given you more information than you have asked. The magnitude and magnificence of the times you are in now will become more obvious as you get older. We do not just mean years, we mean days and weeks and months. So we will pause there for this evening, and we always look forward to sharing more with you. There was a time on your planet when the majority of things, we say things, it's not really an accurate word, but things were bigger. No. 6 is important. Next year, as is June. May and June next year.